Joe, what are color codes?
Color codes are something that came to me in meditation to call these things color codes. But what it came from was I started realizing that when I have a conversation with people, if I tune in a certain way, I start to get patterns and colors. And then I started to notice that they were associated with each person that I talked to. It would change, but they're never static. It's always moving, but there's some commonalities to everyone's pattern that I've noticed. And then color codes is me grabbing those patterns and making a piece of art very specific for a person
And
with their colors.
you're a professional artist.
I am.
This is perfect. Yeah, what great inspiration. So you've been
It really is.
doing Joshua and meditating and as you raise your perspective through the different things that you've been doing, that this inspiration comes and you realize that you've had this empathic ability. A lot of people have channeling, or like Christy, they have everything. And your empathic ability is to see these colors in people when you're having a conversation, and then to paint them and to explain what you're seeing to them as well. So you like you did with us, you had a 15-minute conversation with us. You got an image, I guess.
Yes, what kind of happens is later on when I paint it, I can just recall that person and then the patterns start back up.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it's the initial call is to make the connection, and I'll answer certain questions if the connection's kind of harder to make the connection stronger. So once the connection's there, I can tap in and it will just continue.
Who's easier to connect with, me or Christy?
Actually, you were really easy to connect with. I
Me and
think
Gary.
Christy, since I did her first, I was a little nervous.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, people are nervous around Christy. She has that. Great. Well, I'm going to show Christy's because you saw what we've seen, and it's pretty funny. So here's Christy's, and I'll put this up there on the screen.
And I have the digital of it too
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
can put up.
Right.
Oh, it's so
you'll be seeing
cool.
them.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing in Christie's?
Well, Christie's, the main thing that came to me that came through is entry points. You'll notice on the image that there's a lot of black dots. And those entry points, those black dots are the void, the no identity. And what came through is basically that's going to start showing up in Christie's life. This is what came through. That's going to start showing up in Christie's life in places that she has never had it before. She may have had to go in deep meditation to get there, but now it's going to start popping up when like she's doing laundry or at the checkout counter. She may be like, whoa, where am I? Oh, okay.
Wait.
And it's very playful. Hers is very playful, and a lot of people are really attracted to what she is. And if you notice in the center, it's the white light swirling around, and a lot of people are attracted to it and taking stuff from that. And you can see it's kind of bleeding off and coming in, and there's a lot of joy. The yellow in her is a lot of joy, and the green is very much learning in hers. So it's a learning experience for her and other people. But the main thing that came through for her was entry points. The entry points to the void and no identity is going to be popping up in places that she never thought would. And that's what to watch out for. And that's what came through, is like to look for it. And the fact that you're going to be looking for it is going to constitute it happening more and more and more.
Yeah, this is something that when Christy, well, go ahead and explain, Christy, when all this started, you had a revelation. What was that? Everything and
everything and nothing. Yeah. Well, that was really what started it all. It was when I was in writing, working on a manifestation event, something from the boot camp. And I'm writing, and I wrote, "You are worthless," huge on a piece of paper. Like my inner self had written that to me. A lot of conversation through the day with Gary, and just came to this idea. It wasn't a limited belief at all. It was that I am everything and nothing, worthless and worth everything. And that shifted it was the beginning of the shift in my identity. there, that I'm a lot more and a lot less and everything than these things that I identified myself to be.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
sort of
the void. The void is what we've been talking to in quantum life theory, that you have to get into the void, and you do it in two ways. One is in meditation with the absence of thought for a microsecond or so.
Yeah.
That's the void, and you detach from your identity and your conditions, and from there you can become something else and receive inspiration. And so here,
Yeah.
It's been interesting because as Christy has gone through this perspective shift, she's starting to remove the blocks in that block wall of identity one by one by one, and they're happening all over the place, just like you said. It's exactly what you said.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. And that those moments of, in fact, it's sometimes disturbing, because and White Light just explained to me, it's these moments of slipping out of 3D and through 4 and into 5 and being there, and it just feels to me like black. And it can, you're right, recently it happens in the strangest ways. I'm not in meditation. I'm just hoping it doesn't happen when I'm driving.
Wow.
And so the green is learning.
Yes, hers is learning. It's very fresh learning, almost like a spring green, which to me it's like growth, learning. And the orange is excitement, but around that orange is usually, well, I see for her is that orange is other people coming to her that are really excited to learn and to see what she has to offer, and they're all attracted to her.
And that's
cool.
Happening.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I tend to try to hide, and I'm not able to do that.
Oh, they're going to find you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christy was just on a podcast, and she had like hundreds of people wanting to do sessions, which she isn't really doing so much anymore.
I had to shut my calendar down because all of a sudden it was like a Friday afternoon, and I looked at my email and I had, 30 or 40 within a matter of an hour or so, people scheduling readings, and I flipped out. Like, oh no, I just shut my whole calendar down.
What a good problem to have.
Whoa.
Well, it'd be good if
Yeah.
it wasn't so taxing energetically.
Yeah.
So she can do 2 or 3 a week now.
Yeah. That's I really do enjoy it, but it makes me so tired, and so I don't do that many of them. So yeah, it's all right. It'll evolve.
Mm-hmm. Also, whenever she's had any aura reading or astrology reading, it's always this bright white. All I see is white in you. There's no colors. It's just pure white.
You're white. And I've always been, I think maybe I told you that, Joe, but I've always been so disappointed. Like, where's my color? I've had so many people, 3 different people read, and they always just see white. They don't really see anything else. And so when you were offering to do this, I thought, I hope he sees color. And then you said, is this all white in the middle here? I was like, no.
That would have been easy for me, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just send you a blank canvas.
Yeah.
That would be great.
It's all white. Sorry, I don't see anything.
Yeah, maybe Christy can do a self-portrait and just be all white.
All white.
You can sign it. Okay, and then what are the other colors?
Well, the blue is that surrounding the white light there. To me, that's higher learning. For hers, it's really higher learning. And I'm sure that's what you're doing now. And everything's kind of attracted to you. And every time something comes into you, that little white light grows a little bit further out.
That's great.
Because I see that shape is kind of growing and moving, and there's no angles in yours. It's all curves.
That's really interesting. It's so beautiful. When I looked at it, it just, I can't explain it. And that's what I want other people to experience with it. Because when I saw it, there was part of the connection with you, and that's what you saw. And that part was really cool. But I looked at it and I just thought, yeah, I don't know how to explain to you. It just felt right. Okay. And I had no idea what any of it meant yet, but it's fun. It's a
and something that other people that I've done these for have mentioned is they will swear that they move in the corner of their eye, that the little thing is wiggling around.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy has said that he swore that there's a new color there that he never saw before.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Like it changed for him. So, I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm just reporting what people have said.
What's been said. Oh, I think it's beautiful.
And then here's mine. And
look at all that purple power.
Tell me what you see in that one.
Well, what was really unique about yours was the ring, the black ring. I've never had anything like that before. And to me, the black, once again, is the void, the no identity. But yours has this very attractive quality where it's attracting a lot of things. As you can kind of, if you look at the image, it's almost like the colors are coming into it. But there's blue kind of oozing out of it into the other colors. Now that blue again here is higher wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like turning out all this wisdom to other people that are extremely attracted to it. And the orange is really a lot of action, and a lot of action of other people coming to you, just like, hey, I want to be part of this. And they don't really know that what they're really attracted to is the non-identity, the no identity, the malleability that you have, and they're really attracted to it. And inside of the circle, it's more of like yellows, light yellows, pale yellows. It's more of a pure golden color. And that's kind of the pool of where people are being purified, being around you. Hence the roundness also of this thing, because they feel like, oh, they dive into the Joshua material, and it's kind of like you're surrounded by this no identity, and it's kind of purifying them because they're taking in this information and being more malleable themselves.
Yeah. It's really interesting too lately, because we've been with White Light and Joshua just totally talking about releasing that identity. And that identity is not who you are. It's just who you think you are. And both Christy and I have had very strong identities in the past. And now we're releasing our identity, and it's becoming much more malleable. And this is really where the power is. And what about the purple?
The purple here is it's very deep spiritual stuff that people are attracted to, but it's also this childlike playfulness. Just really almost, I want to say, like almost Easter time kids getting eggs. It's really deep stuff, and it's attracted to you. Like other spiritual people are going to be very much attracted to this. And I'll sling right into the green, because if you notice, like the green and the orange are they're trying to go in they're trying to like merge in together with each other. And the green for you is also growth, but it's a lot of money. What came through was just money is going to be swirling up and around you, and it's going to be this dynamic kind of like play of this deep spiritual work, money, and action of other people, action of you, all swirling around this non-identity that is a ring. I always see it as a ring for you, because I tune in now, I just see these rings everywhere popping up.
This what Christy and I thought was really funny when we first looked at it was, my inner self is named Topio, and Topio is the god of the forest, or represented as the tree, or the tree of life. And this looks like a picture from above of a tree. And what the tree does,
oh wow,
the tree attracts everything to it because it can't move, right? And this is one of my abilities, is to attract things to me rather than me having to go out and get them.
It's a really interesting thing I got a while back about him. And that pulling stuff to him. Everyone attracts things, but in his case, it is quick and intentional if he will tap into it. And a couple times he has, and like somebody just brought me this, someone just brought me that, and he can get in that groove. But it's really powerful. And I like the purple because that's what I'm always sending to him is purple. I call it purple power, purple energy, which is like love and support and confidence. And it's when I circle around it, I thought, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I say it all the time. I'm sending you purple power.
Yeah. Well, this is great.
Crazy.
And I know that a bunch of other people are going to want theirs because more than just artwork on the wall, it reminds you who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
And it shows you, it confirms yourself and shows you who you are from a higher perspective. And it's something that's great. I love looking at it every day.
Yeah, me too.
So tell me how
so much love too. That's when the conversation with you, just the 15 minutes and the way that it comes packaged and you get out, I can feel it, the love in it. When you go through what you got and you explain the color code, it's warm, it's connecting, and it's just something everybody should get a chance to do. I love it.
The process starts by you having a conversation on Zoom, connecting with the person, then going back and maybe meditating or thinking about it, and then getting out the canvas and actually creating a completely original, one-of-a-kind art piece. This is not a photo. This is the actual paint on canvas.
This is not a digital print. It is the real thing.
I mean, it is so spectacular. It almost looks like a digital thing, but it's not. When you look at it closely, it's obviously these brush strokes, but they just seem perfect. Like how could you be so meticulous in this? It's amazing. And so you go and you think of them and the colors come and you're just able to put it down, or do you rework it? How does that work?
Well, when the first initial one, I try to do it the same day or right after I talk to the person, and it'll come out. I'll initially put everything out there really quickly, and then I don't touch it for the next day because I want to see if I'm pulled to continue on it. Because sometimes I am. It's like, oh, hey, something's changed here. Take this, or I need to add that, or there needs to be some mixture between these colors because these things are all about the color relationships going on between each other. It's just not like red, blue, yellow. There's shapes, and that tells me something, whether it's all curves, if there's angles, what someone has to, it really points out certain things for me. If it's flowing, some people's look like a river. Some's are very static and just, or they're kind of static. They just look like, they're very up front and like they need something to really focus on.
Interesting. And then so it takes a couple of days to do, and then you send it to them, you frame it, put it all together, sign it. I'm going to encourage you to sign it bigger somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't sign yours, Christy. I'm sorry.
I know.
Sign it in person.
I was too excited.
When you come to our super hippie woo-woo heart opening festival, you can sign it then.
Yes, I will definitely sign it then.
And then you ship it off, and then you have another call and explain it to them where they can record this on video and always remember what you said, which is amazing,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also have different sizes. So,
So let's talk about this one. What size is this one?
That is what I call a color code mini. That's approximately 5 inches by 5 inches. It's a little smaller because of the mat, but it's approximately 5 inches by 5 inches. Okay.
And so I know that you're doing a special for people in the Joshua community. It's normally pretty expensive. It's normally like what, $8.95 or $9.95?
It's normally $8.95, but for Joshua people, it is $4.95.
That's amazing. That's great.
It is amazing. And it comes framed like that. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to get original art that's about you. I can't imagine it. And the conversation as well. What are the other sizes that you have?
I have a 16 by 16. Now, The minis are the only ones that are done with gouache paint. Hence, you have to have the glass around it. But the oil paints do not. It's like a full-on real oil painting that doesn't need glass.
Yeah.
And those take a little bit longer to deliver to you because they have to dry before I frame them, which could take 2 extra weeks or so for drying.
Do you have one that you can show us?
Yes. Here's a 16 by 16.
Ooh.
Actually, this was the first one I ever did. And this one was for a friend of mine who is still out of country that I'm going to be giving it to. And yeah, his is
he looks like an angel too.
Yeah. A lot of blue around his.
What's the blue around his mean?
Searching for higher learning.
Oh, he's searching.
And he needs a lot of structure in his. And he has got these 4 on the corners. It's these bright orange, and that's action. But I told him how to view this was a little different, was to focus on the center so he can have focus, but then toggle between focusing on the center and then the orange dots. And he can fluctuate his focus, and that'll loosen up his what came through was that'll loosen up his identity structure to be a little bit looser as he's changing his perspective. And if he changes his perspective like that, he can also change his perspective internally.
Oh man, that's great. Wow. That really is a perspective shift. Going from the center to the corner, center, corner, center, corner. Oh, that's great.
Wow, that's good.
Wow.
And I have one here that's a 24 by 24. It's unframed. You can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that one. This one's for my wife.
Ah, Colleen.
Yep. And hers is kind of there's a flame, almost a flame in the middle.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a light violet flame. And there's a lot of activity around hers. And on the bottom also is these orange in these deep, deep colors. And it's really much telling her to dive really deep into her structure that she has, her identity that she has, and how it's unraveling. And she can toggle between these as well. But in hers, it's a triangle.
Wow. And Colleen's done the boot camp, right?
Yeah, she's done it with me twice now.
Awesome. Yeah.
And her life is just radically changing, and her perspective is radically changing as well. I mean, it's amazing what we're both going through.
That's great.
It is. It's really cool.
Awesome. Well, we just wanted to tell you how much we appreciate you and your color codes. And I think so many people are going to like it as well. So we'll post this. And if anyone wants to contact you, I'll have your contact information below, but go ahead and tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at Kresoja.com. From there, it's my last name, Kresoja, Kresoja. You go there, you'll find everything you need. You can reach out to me, and don't purchase it on the website right out of the gate. You contact me, and then I will give you the discount. I can send you the invoice, and the discount will be in there.
Okay. And how about you just give them your email?
Joe at Kresoja.com, my last name.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Love you.